Hello, and welcome to All 32. My name is Arabia, and here we talk all things football. Today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. I have my co-host, Matthew Judon. How are you, Matthew?
I'm good. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good. I don't know who y'all is. It's just me here, but I'm doing
Well,
good.
no, well, okay. Aren't we talking to the mass people that watch our show?
We are. You're right about
Okay.
that. I want to know how y'all are doing too. So if you're doing good, let us know how you're doing in the comments. Also want to say thank you to everybody who booked a chat with me. I've been having some really good conversations. So Matthew, I don't know if you know this, but I offer a service where people can book chats with me so we can talk football. Um, to
It's
everybody who
like people pay for this service.
yeah. So I offer 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and then monthly subscriptions if they want to talk weekly at a discounted rate. Um,
Is this like a
so
debate? Is this like it's like your own show?
it's whatever they want it to be. It could be a debate. They could talk Cowboys and I'll talk Commanders. It could be like, what do you think about the Colts this year? It could be, let's do predictions for MVP or Super Bowl. It could be their fantasy team. Like, oh, do you think I should start Brian Robinson on the 49ers? Like, it could be anything football related. So we've had some really, really great conversations. I've been having some really good, really great chats. So shout out to everybody who booked with me. If you want to book a chat with me, go to my Instagram profile and go book
No,
now.
nobody asked for the shout
And
out.
yeah, book with me now. And look, the more money I get, the less money you have to contribute. So you might as well
That's the
try
one.
to help me run it
I
up.
don't know why you just lied. Like I don't know why she lied to y'all.
Anyway, also I almost got my head knocked off my shoulders when I did the gawk gawk on the JJ McCarthy video. So sorry about that. But speaking of JJ McCarthy, we crowned him way too early. Not we. People on the internet crowned him way too early. It's just week one. He had a really good series of drives, week one versus the Bears in the fourth quarter, which is great. He has all these NFL debut records, which is amazing and unique because you only get one shot at an NFL debut. But people were saying he was the next coming of Tom Brady. He was one of the best quarterbacks to come out of Michigan. Just all of these things that were just overreactions to week one.
And he
Week
still
two
can be.
happens.
Let's put that out
And
there.
he
He
still
still can
can
be.
be. I don't think we should crown anybody too early, and I don't think we should dismiss anybody too early. But week one proclamations about a rookie for all intents and purposes, not a rookie because he sat behind Stan Darnold last year, but for someone's NFL debut week one, we can't make these proclamations week one. Week two, we saw what happened on Sunday versus the Falcons, and not necessarily the same fourth quarter performance, and that's okay. All I'm saying is stop putting the crown on people so early. What do you think, Matthew?
He's young. He can learn. He has a great offensive mind to sit around and that's the best thing. And I think his coach is going to understand to not kind of spoil the goods too early. And okay, we can't run as much stuff as we ran last year because we don't have the quarterback to run that. We're gonna have to make some more things simpler. Kind of shut off one side of the field and make his reads a little more simpler. Or you go here, you check down. You go here, you check down, and that's easy because you can just load the field with Addison and JJ or Henderson, Addison, however you wanna have that combination, and then you have to lean and rely on your run game,
Yeah.
screens and checkdowns to start getting more manageable and easier first downs. And so when you go into second down, it's not second and long and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, and I know checkdowns aren't sexy. Everybody wants to see a deep ball. Everybody wants to see these really big plays. But ain't nothing wrong with a little checkdown. Ain't nothing wrong with driving down the field, getting chunk yardage to win the game. Is the Bengals season over? And I'll go first and just say yes. When 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 Joe Burrow left the game, it was 12-7, and Jake Browning came in, threw 3 interceptions, and they still won the game. Now, that says 2 things to me. Number 1, the Bengals defense is a little better than last year, especially in the red zone, and that's a good thing. There's progress on the defensive side of the ball. Number 2, though, it was against the Jaguars. I think if they were up against a team that will capitalize on those mistakes and turn those 3 interceptions into points on the board, then they would have been in trouble. So I don't think Jake Browning in the same situation against a better team would have had the same outcome. To me, Bengals look to the draft. Who do you need? How many wins do you need to get where you need to be in the draft? For me, the season is over. What do you think?
I mean, I think so too. It's tough. We seen Jake Browning with the same everything. The Jake Browning has been in this offense before. He's been in this situation before. We've seen kind of what it looks like, and then that's no slight to him. Maybe he got better. Maybe he just wasn't expecting to play. Last week. But I think we kind of seen who Jake Browning is. We seen this come. Okay, preseason isn't only preseason, right? A preseason is what is to come. We seen Jake Burrow in preseason, and people said he wouldn't make it to week 5. People was like, "Hey, like this is their starting line in
Mm,
preseason," and he
yeah,
was getting cooked. You can't see a problem, a glaring problem, and just not fix it, and then just pay everybody around kind of the problem and just never fix the problem and never address the problem. And even though you have one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL,
yeah,
probably one of the most skilled wide receivers. The triple crown winner. You have a very
for
good
sure.
running back. You have good tight ends. You have good personnel everywhere. It doesn't fix the problem because if you don't have a top tier quarterback, it's hard to win games in this league. And you see that week in, week out. If you don't have the guy or a guy, one of the 5, 6 guys in this league, it's very tough. You need your defense, special team, and everything else to be clicking. If you don't have one of those guys, and it's gonna be tough because it's only week 2, so it's gonna be
Yeah.
tough for them.
Yeah, we saw Malik Neighbors already visibly frustrated on the sideline so far this season. We saw Justin Jefferson already visibly frustrated on the sideline this season. Hopefully, it's not a situation where Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or anyone else on this Bengals offense is frustrated because the skill positions are there as far as running backs, wide receivers, but the offensive line and the quarterback play isn't great, so they aren't given opportunities. The Bengals right now are at the top of the AFC North, but not for long. They will fall to the bottom. Maybe not the Browns' bottom, but Ravens are 1-1, Steelers are 1-1, Browns are 0-2. I don't think the Bengals are going to stay up there for much longer. Probably next couple weeks, they'll find themselves where they will be.
I mean, it's gonna be tough to block that whole division. You're in a division where the Ravens get a lot of pass rush and pressure, especially from the interior. Uh, you, and you have to block Miles Garrett and T.J. Watt
Mm,
and supporting cast. So you got to do that. They already played the Browns, and they didn't block anybody. And then
yeah.
they got to play the Browns again, Steelers 2 more times, and then the Ravens 2 more times. It's going to be difficult just in a division to keep where they are right now. So,
Yeah.
uh,
You spoke
you know, I,
about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins being like a really good duo. Do you think that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are the better duo, or CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens? Or is there another, or Devontae and AJ? Like, what's the best wide receiver duo out in the league right now?
I don't know league right now.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
watching that Cowboys offense with CD and then you still also have George Pickens available, that was dangerous.
yeah, I think George Pickens is a good wide receiver. I don't think he's a second fiddle to kind of who T. Higgins is, who Addison is, or like I don't know. So I can't pick them, but I know I think CD is one of the 3 best receivers in the league, and he's
Okay.
gonna be that. He's gonna be that for some time. We just have to get consistency out of George Pickens. And
Yeah,
so when his consistency matches his skill, uh, that's going to be the best duo. But we just need that because any given week he can go for 150, or
yeah.
any given week he can be out. He can get kicked out the first quarter. So 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 we just need that, and then we need I mean I'm gonna say Jamar Chase and T Higgins. I
Yeah.
think that's one, and I mean nobody bite my head off. I don't think I'll forget nobody, but when you know or my guy Hill and Waddle, when
That's a good one.
when the offense is clicking and they can catch the ball in they spots, catch and run, I think that's tough. I think
What
that's tough
about,
to do.
well, I know Chris Godwin is still out, he won't be playing Monday night, but, like, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, I think is also a really good duo.
I think that's a great duo. I think we already know who Mike is and the consistency throughout his whole entire career. I don't think he has had a 1,000 yard less than 1,000 yard season since middle school. Like, bro gonna get 1,000 yards
Yeah,
somehow, some way. And then Chris Godwin gonna do the more dirty work, grunt work, and a slot catching screens, trying to dig defensive ends out, get up to the safeties.
yeah, yeah. So speaking of the Cowboys, let's talk about the Cowboys-Giants game, which was a crazy game, went into overtime, almost with the length of overtime. James Hudson, left tackle for the Giants, 4 penalties in less than 2 minutes in that opening drive for the Giants. In a game where they lost by 3 in overtime, it's a division game. You wanna get up on your opponent as early as possible because that 4th quarter, you never know what'll happen. Obviously, we
Yeah.
saw it Ravens-Bills. We saw it Steelers-Seahawks week 2. This game as well, like, what I mean, you've gotten penalties in your life, but I don't know if you've gotten 4 in 1 drive. What what happens in practice? What happens on the sidelines? What are coaches saying to you? Because he went on the sideline, like, visibly angry. Like, you could be frustrated with yourself, but why are you mad at other people? It was almost like he was mad at them for taking him out when they gave him chance after chance. And then, of
Mm.
course, after that drive, offensively, they put someone else in. But what do you think about that? About him, those 4 penalties in that opening drive for the Giants?
I ain't gonna lie. All right. I think the when he hit the dude in the head, I think that was kind of big because if Buddy wasn't slipping already, that's the exact technique you coach, right? You lure him up the field and you slap his back. Now he might have been slapping too hard. He might have been, but that is the technique. And so everybody like, oh, you gotta miss his head. You gotta like that's the same thing as a DB coming to jar the ball loose, the ball right here, the dude head right here. How do you miss
Yeah,
one or the two? Like
yeah,
that's the exact technique. Get between the man and the ball and slap his back and run and try to get to the next level.
yeah,
But then the false start. All right. That might be some time and stuff. We're on the road. We can't hear. We going silent cadence. I'm trying to get up. But you also have to like know who you're playing. And well, like I said, we already respect the game. But he wasn't playing a guy with multiple double digit sack seasons. Like calm down, hold your water. You can block him. Just focus on your fundamentals and technique. You can block him. You can get between you, him, the ball, quarterback, Dak. I mean, Russell is a good enough quarterback to get the ball out and or run. But then once you get two in a drive,
yeah,
right? And your team overcomes your 2 penalties in a drive. You have to know the zebras are out to get you. They're not letting anything for the rest of this drive slide. Now, after the drive, you can go to the refs and you can talk to them like, hey, this is whoopty whoopty whoop. And then they will give you some feedback. They be like, "Okay, this is what I seen." But like during the drive, you can't do that. They're not trying to hear that. But during
Yeah.
the TV timeout, they'll talk to you. They like, "Okay, well, you got to get lined up. Like you got to
Mhm.
cut the center belt." And they'll do more stuff like that. But during the drive, they're not hearing it, and nor do they care. They'll just
Yeah.
throw another flag on you, and
Yeah.
so you can't correct it during the drive. You have to self correct, and I just think he didn't self correct fast enough, and he put his team in a position of punting the ball. Like,
Yeah.
okay, in an NFL game, max, people just watch the back and forth of the NFL. They don't know unless like you going really well, you have 7 to 8 offensive possession, and that's max. And so, if a team going really slow and chewing the clock, or you're getting a lot of penalties and killing the clock, you might have less. And so that's why takeaways are so big. Penalties on offense are huge and drive killers. That's the type
Mhm.
of stuff
Mhm.
that kill drives and kill momentum for a team. So
Yeah.
during that time, if you get two in any type of drive, and you kind of not a DB where it's kind of close, and hand fighting, kind of holding some stuff. They want to see points on the board, so they're gonna call that really tight. Your offensive line, you lineman, you have to self correct. You got to self correct fast because then people will shift blame on you, and then that's
Yeah.
when you look in that situation where you look frustrated and visibly frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Giants ended up kicking a field goal in that drive for 3 points. I think it should have been a touchdown. But the Cowboys defense, well, the Giants offense at that point for the first 4 drives were 0-4 in the red zone. So I say it should have been a touchdown because they were at the 2-yard line. But the Cowboys defense was holding up in the red zone for the next 3 of those drives. So you're saying that what James Hudson did isn't so bad because he was using technique that just landed in the wrong spot. The same way where, like you said, if a DB is going to punch the ball out, the refs are okay with them punching the player as long as they're trying for the ball. You're saying that he
Yeah,
was trying to basically do like slap his back, but ended up slapping his head, and so it looked a lot worse than it really was. And if that is the case, fine. But he got another um he got 3 more penalties after that. And he was getting cooked. The sack in that first drive for Russell Wilson was his guy, you know? So I just feel like at what point were they gonna take him out the game during that drive? I know Andrew Thomas is out, Pro Bowler, vet, his presence was missed.
yeah.
But, I thought after that second or third penalty, he should have been taken out of the game, but I think Daboll overruled and was like, "No, keep him in."
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to take an offensive lineman out, and like it's not a skill position where
Especially at left
you,
tackle.
yeah, it's rotational. You kind of got to prep a guy to go in, unless it's off an injury, and then but you got to prep a guy to go in, and then you also got to talk because they're probably I don't know if they're seeing the play as we're seeing it,
Yeah.
but when you see the slap on the head, it's like, all right, the dude trying to retrace, he slips. Like, I mean, I could go over top, but I mean, yeah, but I think that's kind of more of a ticky tack foul. But I mean, you just can't have anything else. You
Yeah.
can't have anything else because regardless if we scored, regardless if what we did after that, we're going to come up and talk and say, "Hey, y'all, we need to have cleaner football," and that's the thing. That's how you lose games.
Was this more impressive of a win for the Cowboys offense and what Dak and crew was able to do? Or is it a more disappointing loss for the Giants, particularly this defense, which I think on paper looks really, really good? Brian Burns, Sexy Dexy, Abdul Carter out of the draft this year. Which side of the ball do you think came out of this game with more to review? This win for Dallas or this loss for the Giants?
I'm thinking the Giants, only because I'm a defensive lineman, sack guy, and the first 5 weeks, that crew without Abdul Carter last year had the most sacks in the league,
Yeah.
and Dexter Lawrence was second after Aiden Hutchinson in the whole NFL. And so they have when you see somebody start to, okay, this is how the game gonna flow. Not too much run game from Dallas. They gonna let Dak do it. They gonna try to get behind CD Lamb. They gonna get behind Jake Ferguson, and they gonna let Dak arm carry him. Okay, we got to start pinning our ears back on P and T. We gotta start getting after these dudes, and they already one dimensional. And they made themselves one of them. They want to throw the ball. They want to be the Dallas Cowboys. They want
Right.
to throw the ball. They want to make offense look fun, sexy. They want to make it look like, oh, we're the smartest out there. Okay, allow them to do that, but we need to take full advantage of that, and we need to take advantage of a new guard out there. We get a whole new offensive line, and we need to make them pay and make them force them to protect that. Like we have the guys. Like you even forgot Kayvon Thibodeau.
Exactly.
We have the guys that can do it. And so we just gotta get it we just gotta get it done. And so that's one thing that we have to look back at that game. It's like the Giants have the pieces, right?
Yeah.
And then Dabo has to be good enough to get Malik Neighbors the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know if that he gonna be in the slot, he gonna be out wide, he gonna line up in the backfield. But when you have a talent like that and you don't get him involved, it starts to look like every other good wide receiver that's been in New York.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have no guy, but we don't know how to get him the ball.
Yeah, and that Giants secondary to me played way too soft on CeeDee Lamb and on George Pickens, and then thinking about the best defensive lines right now in the NFL, Steelers, Eagles. I thought the Giants were up there with them. Steelers
Mhm.
fell to the Seahawks. But I thought the Giants were going to dominate at the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball. Didn't necessarily see that, especially in the fourth quarter. So something to keep an eye out for moving forward, because if they can't do that and just be good on paper and not actually win games and win in the trenches, the Giants are gonna have a long season. And Nick, producer of the show, producer of It Is What It Is, kept saying his Giants are back. Tell everybody we back up. We back up. They're not gonna be back nowhere if they don't get that defensive line together. Because Russell Wilson looks good. Russell Wilson looked really, really good. This wasn't necessarily an offensive problem. 41 points scored in the fourth quarter combined between the Cowboys and the Giants. This was not an offensive problem for Giants. It was a defensive problem. So definitely something to get together. Giants ain't back until that defense gets back. Any last thoughts on Cowboys Giants?
Nah, I think the next meetup gonna really tell how the Giants kind of go into some things. I think the Cowboys always gonna be the Cowboys. They're gonna be very explosive. They're gonna win some games. They're gonna lose some games, but it's always gonna look good.
Yeah, the Giants have the Chiefs next. So Chiefs are 0-2. They're looking to get their first win of the season. So are the Giants, actually. But yeah, they got to figure it out. Let's switch to like the next gen schedule section of the podcast. A lot of injuries week 2. JD5, Jaden Daniels is questionable week 3 against the Raiders. Joe Burrow, Alex Highsmith, Jalen Johnson, Cal Van Noy, JJ McCarthy, also questionable, and the list goes on. The game is brutal and hard, not just for professional athletes, but for college athletes and high schoolers. And I wouldn't necessarily say our son's age because they're not really out there hitting like that yet. But
Yeah.
how can you support your child if they are going through injury, not just physically, but mentally not being able to be out there with their team, and but also physically, who people who may not have access to the best facilities and the best doctors or know exactly what they're doing. Like if your child is dealing with an injury, what can you do to support them physically and mentally?
I think first physically, it's so much research and stuff out there. I mean, I think the easiest and the cheapest and the route right now, you can just hold your home screen button and ask GBT to give you workout routines to heal a certain injury, heal a certain body part. So, you kind of gotta take onus. Like nobody come. Like one of my favorite sayings is "Nobody come to save you." Right. So if you don't put the work in, or if you don't think that it's necessary to actually go and find the information, it's not just gonna come to you. You know, somebody not just gonna drop it on your doorstep. Like, hey, this is what you should do. This is where you should go. But if you're out there searching for it, it's ways to build strength in every part of your body. And I think it starts with ground up. So you really got to tap into your kids' feet. Make sure they ain't, Jordans is cool, but they can't wear Jordans every day. They gotta actually be able to spread their feet, be able to spread their toes, hit the ground with some barefoot stuff. And then also them knowing how to run, how to fall, how to move their body. So I think, track and field is very important.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the off season and nutrition in a second, but September is mental health awareness. No, it's suicide prevention awareness month. So just wanting a focus on mental health and mentally the ways that you can support your athlete. For your injury last year, or no, actually the year before against the Cowboys, did that do something to you mentally? Did you feel like you were in a dark space, or did you feel like you were well supported? Like, what did that injury do for you mentally?
I don't think it did anything for me mentally. I think I'm pretty. I think I try to be pretty good mentally. I try to actually understand and emotionally correct, like on spot. So at first, like I'm like, dang, I'm sad. I was balling. Why did this happen? Whoop de whoop. And then I'm just eating pizza. Uh, uh, freaking. Well, I was eating Popeyes. The Popeye wings was smacking. That's when they first came out. So shout out to Popeyes.
Shout out to Popeyes.
That's when they first came out. But then I and just sitting down playing a video game. But then I self corrected. I mean, in 2 days, 2 3 days, I'm like, okay, I got this much time to play the video game. I got this much time to devote myself in my Bible and my scripture and my word. And then I have to get out of this bed or get out of this room because I had a real comfortable chair in my room. So I just get out of the bed, brush my teeth, get my chair, recline and get to playing video games and just Uber eat some food. And that is that hard. I mean, it's that easy to get in a negative cycle or a negative space. And now I'm not really checking my phone that much. I'm like, oh, people don't care about me. They're not checking on me. And you got to understand, like, people also have their own life. They also are dealing with other stuff. So it's not that they don't care, they don't check about you. It's like shit, they human too. Like they going through a human experience as well. And so you gotta meet people halfway. They can't do it all. And uh, so I started doing that stuff, and then I got back in the gym. I'm like my arm hurt, my legs not. I can I can go out in there and do workouts with my leg. I think the hardest thing that anybody can ever do is a 5 minute wall sit. It don't matter how strong you are or how long you can run. Like that, it's tough. And so I mean I got that, and then I got back around like my people. And I think everybody should have a certain group or certain clan that they can joke and jail with at any time, and that also helps like mentally. So
Yeah.
with the suicide and self harm and in that manner, I think it becomes you kind of barricade yourself, or you kind of start listening to the voices in your head. And we all have them. It's not just, oh, you got voices in your head. Like, we all have thoughts like, nobody cares about me. If I wasn't here right now, the world would be better. Or if I wasn't here right now, nobody would even miss me. and we all have those thoughts sometimes, but that's when I think the devil tries to play and trick us out of our position to where if we just go out the room or we go out the door, we see some people that really love us, that really know us, or that we actually really have communication with, that we understand that's not true. We understand how much that we are cared for, how much that we are looked after, and how much that, you know, people will miss us. And
Yeah.
I think that's just a big part about it. Like, don't ever think that this is on you, that, you're doing life alone, and everybody know, like, if you read a good book, you're not supposed to do life alone. You're supposed to have community. You're supposed to have
Yeah.
somebody you can go to in crunch times and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but it's tough. It's tough. It's
I
easy
agree.
to let shit creep in, and you got to be
Mhm.
mentally strong or mentally aware
Yeah.
to get back to yourself and your people.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally different situation from yours. But like, even with my whole cancer situation, people were like really supportive at first for the first few weeks. But then, like you said, like people have their own lives and their own things going on. And then it kind of dwindles. And then people get used to it. Like at first it's shocking. But then after a while, it's like, oh, I know it's been that way for a while now. But like community and your family and your friends and people who, genuinely love you and care about you for you, not for anything else, definitely is very, very helpful. So again, totally different situation from like an injury, but just relating as far as like being like, oh, I haven't, there was all the support at first. Like at first there was a lot of like reaching out and caring and how are things doing and how are you doing and checking in. But after a while that dwindles and then you find yourself kind of like dealing with it. Maybe not alone, but there's nowhere near the same amount of support. And, like, sometimes with, like, injuries or, like, other health issues, it's a marathon. It is a marathon, like, there's still so much having to deal with that people would never know behind the scenes. Any last thoughts on
And
injuries before we get to off season and nutrition?
no, but I'm a for the people that need somebody to talk to, I'm gonna start one of those. What's the OnlyFans that you got? What's it called?
Um,
The
it's
community talk.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna start the community talk. And so if y'all need help, support, and guidelines, I'm gonna do that. But no
okay.
nudity, no nudity,
Yeah.
right?
No nudity. I mean, it's your chat. You do what you feel like you need to
No, no,
do.
no, 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 no. Chat no,
As
chat
a
no
matter of
nudity.
fact, if you wanna show Matthew Judon your private parts, he will have a community chat out very soon where you can sign up and do that, or you can talk about your
Yeah.
mental health issues. It's a wide range of things. He offers it all.
No,
One-stop
I
shop.
don't. I don't. That's not what was offered. It's only community chat.
Okay.
Let's talk football.
Okay. So nutrition. Takis, ramen noodles, Sour Patch Kids, all these things that kids these days love. Do you think there's enough emphasis put on nutrition with children and their bodies and how they perform in sports? Because I personally do not. My child is not a chicken nuggets and fries child. He will eat it if you put it in front of him, but I think there needs to be more of an emphasis put on nutrition when it comes to children, especially if you want them to perform in athletics.
Yes and no. It's I think it's an 80-20 rule. 80% needs to be nutritionally good, but, you know, 20%, like, you know, they can have some sugar. They can have some, I would say sweet drinks. I wouldn't say like pops, colas,
Yeah,
pops.
it's called
And
soda.
it's actually called soda pop. So that some
So
people
soda.
split it. So some people split it into soda. Some people split it into pop because some people call it by their Okay, so when some people call me Judon, when I would say no, it's Matthew.
Okay. All right.
So some people call it by their last name. Some people call it by their first name. All
Okay.
right.
Fine. Okay.
All right. Anyway, and then people from the south call it cola.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, whatever you call it, I think that shouldn't be consumed by any human. It's so many ways to, cut the pie. I think it just has to be done in 80% nutritional, 10% kind of what the kid wants,
Mhm.
and then the other 10% is the grandparents. The grandparents gonna do whatever they want. So it
That's a
ain't
fact.
it's not you can really can't, you feel me? Like,
Yes.
just be happy you don't got them for that 10% of the time. So, you know,
Yeah,
so they gonna do the cupcake, brownie, ice cream route.
all that.
They
My mom
yeah,
and Roman right now are on the funnel cake fries real bad. So, yeah.
I've been busting down sweet potato fries, and I don't know if they healthy, but I'm thinking they healthier than just regular French fries. But the sweet
Okay.
potato fries is really slept on. But I like sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Time out. I gave your son okay. Your son's getting older. He's starting to get into different things. He wanted cologne. So I told him I would get him some cologne. So I got him 2 bottles of cologne just for some variation. And I told him how to spray it. I was like, okay, just give a nice little far away. Don't do too much. I smelled him walk in before I saw him, looked over, and he's here. How many sprays did you spray? 10? Okay. Yeah. We're not going to do 10 sprays of the cologne anymore, right?
5 was blue, 5 was
Okay. Well, we're not going to do
Five,
that again.
five in a hey, that's how you make an entrance, baby.
Yeah, no, that is strong. Well, like I said, I smelled him before I saw him. But anyway, so yeah, I think and then last question for you, a sports like a routine. Do you have a routine before a game or after a game, something that you always make sure that you do that's just part of your routine no matter what?
Well, currently, probably for the last 3, 4 years, I go squat after every game. And just try to get the legs back into recovery mode. I didn't already broke them down as much as I could during the game, and then after the game, try to get them back into regen mode. So kind of tear a little bit more of the muscle fibers and things like that. It's been working. Like I feel good, strong, healthy after the game. Right now, I got a little bursitis, but on my leg, but it's. I mean, I think that's one of the routines, and I think, as athletes, we gotta keep our core strong because everything is focused there when getting
Mhm.
pushed off balance and stuff like that, so we gotta keep that core strong.
Yeah. Were you a skinny kid? Like, were you like Roman size when you were his
Nah,
age?
nah, he's skinny. Mm,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how he's gonna grow up because you have really big legs, and I just don't see that for him. But you never know.
yeah. I'm thick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with 2 C's.
I
All
know.
right. Yeah, I think shout out to JR. Sorry you're dealing with the injury. Definitely need to be back before states. And like I said, if you want to book a chat with me, go to my Instagram and put book now. Matthew will also have a service where you could talk
Yeah, so
about.
look, Imma be on her thing. I don't gotta start my own, right? Imma be on her thing. I'm book now, and then slash Judon.
Yeah. If you want to talk to me or you want to talk to Matthew, book now on my Instagram. And shout out to everybody who has already booked. I really appreciate you, especially the subscriptions. I will be talking to you guys every week. That's all that the time that we have for today. Check us out tomorrow with Champ Bailey. I guess we're ending every episode with the national anthem, which is crazy. We'll see. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.